Syracuse this fall. Alonzo Mourning from Chesapeake, Virginia, and his name called by some one of the best teenage players ever. At 6'10", 230, and headed for the Georgetown Hoyas. This event started in 1978. And already, many of basketball's best have been part of this event. The McDonald's All-American High
Guard from Carlisle, Pennsylvania, number 34, Billy Owens. At center from Chesapeake, Virginia, number 33, Alonzo Mourning. At one forward position from Arlington, Virginia, number 36, Crawford Palmer. At the other forward position from the Bronx, New York, number 22, Malik Sealy. The head coach from Jersey City, New Jersey, Bob Hurley. Now here are the starters for the West squad. At one guard from Long Beach, California, number 15, Derek Martin. At the other guard from Los Angeles, California, number 42, Chris Mills. At center, from Hopkins, South Carolina, number 53, Stanley Roberts. At forward, from Memphis, Tennessee, number 10, Todd Day. And at the other forward position, from Elkhart, Indiana, number 40, Sean Kemp. The head coach of the West squad from Albuquerque, New Mexico, Jim Holzman.
Right here, they'll play a lot of the college rules, 2 20-minute halves. They'll use the 45-second shot clock, no zone defense, and they'll allow them to play up and down the court. I got some statements I'd like to make on that Derek Martin situation a little bit later, but you're right. The dad told both of us that no way will he be going to UCLA. I only feel he should allow himself at least to get to know Jimmy Herrick and hear what Jimmy Herrick has to say about the UCLA program.
Mills puts it up and pops it down. So Chris Mills, who's also involved in a bit of a soap opera himself, knocks down the first 2 points of the ball game for the West. Now the East moves to the attack. This is Green, the outside lateral Green. Ball is knocked loose, and the West is running it. Day, good pass, Mills basket.
Tremendous transition basketball right there. Mills shows his versatility. He can run the court as well as shoot the perimeter jumper from out of Fairfax, California, going to Kentucky.
Inside ball blocked beautifully by Day, who feeds it out on a hurry, and there's a foul whistled on Latrell Green. The movement up and down the court will be pronounced. No zones allowed, as you noticed in the rules. It's a man defense, and the idea is showcase. That's really fundamentally, basically what it's all about. And a chance for the top youngsters in high school basketball to get a chance to play against each other. Determine in their own mind just how good they might be. Kemp misses, rebound East. Here's Green running. Missed it. Rebound comes outside to Billy Owens, headed for Syracuse.
He's so versatile. Owens can pass the basketball. He can play any one of 5 positions on the floor. He's got a lot of Danny Manning in him.
Latrell Green out of Mississippi at the point.
Loves to score. He's got great personality. Look at this, shooting a jumper.
Here comes Martin out of St. Anthony. That ball awfully high. Got away with a little bit of a carry. Mills misses, and the rebound tipped in by the big man, Stanley Roberts, who stands very close to 7 feet and weighs somewhere in excess of 250. He is a big guy.
He's got great mobility as well and very agile. They're going to love him down at Baton Rouge. Dale Brown will do a tremendous job with him in a post.
This is Owens feeding inside, and you got to travel. Going up with it. And just simply couldn't turn it loose is Crawford Palmer at 6'8", and headed for Mike Krzyzewski's program at Duke.
He's going to be a fine player coming off the bench. He's perfect for the Duke program. Very physical. He'll hang around the basket. He fouls a great deal, but I believe he'll learn how to play position defense under Coach K.
There's an example of the quickness of Martin. Can't get it to go down, and inside, Mourning for the rebound.
That's his second rebound already.
Here's Owens. Not a bad play there by Kemp. He rode right with him and stopped the shot. And the West moves it the other way today. Blocked and a foul. Mourning got the ball, but also slammed the body.
You gotta love this kid. He's got a great attitude. You watch his agility right now. Now he's getting the good angle for the block shot. Once blocked 27 shots in the game. There he goes. Looked like a great block to me. Take another look at it. There goes
the belt buckle, though. There was some contact before the shot.
Oh, they're going to love him down a Hoya lad. John Thompson's going to put that full court, relentless pressure defense. He's going to take Alonzo, who we look at right here, put him back as the safety man, and he's going to say, come on down, try to get to the goal.
Okay, with a couple. Working off a 45-second clock. We're at 17:50 to go in the first half. And the West is out to the early lead. And that bounce pass will go out of bounds. That's a turnover. Well, one of the things about Alonzo Mourning, Dick, and I want to say this because I have seen in many, many instances going back to when I started in this business in 1952, a lot of youngsters come out of high school and be great, right? They reach a certain level of development and they don't progress any farther. Mourning is a great player right now. How much farther can he progress?
I think he's definitely going to progress down at Georgetown, especially with the style of play, just like Patrick Ewing did. And I really believe, oh, look at that inside action. It's ferocious.
Big Roberts clears it outside today. He's quick. And on the rebound. Slapping it up and in. For the West, number 42 is Chris Mills. Mills now has 6 points of the ball game, and Chris that time was head high to the rim.
He's a very active player, and he's certainly a guy that if he could join Kemp down there on the front line at Kentucky, they're getting quite an addition.
Owens finally pops one through.
Carlisle High School, you ready for this? Unbelievable statistic. 4 consecutive state championships. That's unprecedented. Not only 4 state championships in a row, he started all 4 years under a guy by the name of Lebo, whose son Jeff plays at North Carolina.
This is Green on the point to Owens. 4 points now for Billy Owens, and Mourning has 4 rebounds in the game.
Well, Owens shows again his versatility. He shows he can shoot the jump shot, he can run the core. Syracuse's Jimmy Boeheim's going to fit him in beautifully with Derek Coleman and also Sherman Douglas.
They've called traveling. The officials are Jim Danner out of the Western Athletic Conference, Terry Linton and Ken Ragsdale from the PCAA.
Gary Colson had all these kids walking around the New Mexico campus. I'm sure he would have rather had them on a dotted line and stay here in Albuquerque. Don't let them out.
Well, they've run the coaches off. There are no coaches involved today. Yesterday, they had used up their time allotment for contacts with them, so they're gone. That's Mourning.
Scored a basket.
Goaltending. Count it.
Scored a basket. Mourning is a much more efficient offensive player than a lot of people talk about. We watch him inside.
That would be his basic area of development, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, he really has to work a little bit more on his offensive skills. Little jump hook inside, but I believe he's got great mobility.
16:03 to go in the first half. Court now for the West, handling the ball out in front. Number 34, that's Tegegna. He's the big guy going to Michigan State. Up at the top of the key, and missing is Sean Kemp, who stayed in the ball game, and inside a jump ball is called between Hodge of the East and number 50, who is that, Eric Anderson for the West. The arrow gives the ball over to the east. Now here comes Chris Jackson, the other point guard from Mississippi. He's handling the ball out in front. Peeler, Anthony Peeler, who's headed for Missouri, is in the ball game. Inside, the shot is missed by Robert Verdun, who's headed for St. John's, and you got a traveling call. Also in the ball game, you have Christian Laettner, number 42 in white, who is also headed for Duke. Laettner stands in at 6'10". Martin handles it for the West, won't go down. Rebound is off Verdun. Nope, it is not. It is off Kemp, and the East will handle the ball.
You know, you mentioned Verdun going to St. John's. Archbishop Malloy had a tremendous year this year, and they got another great player, Kenny Anderson, who a lot of people say is the best guard in the United States.
Ball is knocked loose and taken away. by Matt Stagenga. Can't handle it, but Jackson, as the East recovers it, knocks it down. And Chris Jackson's a guy that Dick was talking about at the beginning of the show, the kind of stats he had coming out of high school.
Oh, look at that move inside. What a great head fake.
That's Stagenga. Matt Stagenga, number 34 at 6'7".
He's a very active player. Judd Heathcote's got a good one in Mr. Stagenga. He was going to go to North Carolina, but then decided to stay home.
That's Peeler popping it up and getting it to count. Anthony Peeler, 6'5".
He's an athlete. Great jumper going to Missouri.
Martin losing control of that as he got in among the trees.
You know, Keith, you mentioned Martin earlier and the fact that he doesn't want to now go to UCLA. My feeling is...
He hasn't said so. It's the father doing all the talking.
Well, the father's, I guess, representing him. My feeling is any player who signs early and there's a coaching change, he should be allowed to be re-recruited again. Look at that penetration right there.
I know, but this, you know, this gets me very quickly into an area of college athletics that I despise. And I think most coaches do too. It's the confounded necessity of recruiting, the mess it brings with it. There's always some kind of a problem that comes with it.
Well, I hope there's not really. I love the game too much, and it would be a black eye if any validity to the charges and the Mills situation going on with Kentucky.
There's got to be something there, Dick. There's got to be, doesn't there? Because
well,
you got people involved operating interstate commerce and understate California laws involved in that one. But here's the rebound coming off into the hands of Peeler, who is a skier. He can jump, huh?
Well, he's a slam jam bammer, too. He can really play out in transition. For the people out there, I guess you better document what we're talking about, Keith, in the Mills case concerning Kentucky.
Well, one of the air freight companies, one of the employees found a package that was open intended for the father of Chris Mills, Claude Mills, returning a video cassette from the University of Kentucky, sent out by one of Eddie Sutton's assistant coaches. When they found the package open, they found inside $1,000 in an envelope. They brought together the number of people required under the provisions of interstate commerce, being a bonded company, and the security people were there. They resealed it. They have confirmed that there was money involved. They resealed it and was delivered. Claude Mills says he did not receive any money. The Kentucky people say they did not send any money. So now that you're involved with ICC rules, you're involved with state laws, you're involved with all kinds of things. So somewhere along the way, this will have to be nailed down, it would seem to me, because there's so many people involved in it. The NCAA conducting its investigation, and in time we'll eventually, I suppose, find out the truth of it.
Well, I'm going to talk about basketball and get away from the investigative end of it. I have a tough enough time analyzing the game. And right there, Stanley Roberts, what a thoroughbred, playing above the rim.
Here goes Peeler again. This time he runs into Big Roberts, and he presents a considerable challenge for him. And one of the other young people in the ball game right now that we have not had a chance to see so far is Don McLean. Don McLean at 6'9", played at Simi Valley High School. Outstanding in the western part of the country and undecided as at this moment he says where he's going to go to school.
I really believe he'll end up at UCLA. He has a meeting set with Jimmy Herrick. He can visit the UCLA campus. They can't recruit him actively. I think Jimmy's going to do a solid job. I know he was like the 4th choice for the job, Keith, but heck, I was the 4th choice with my wife, and I've had 17 great years. So if he can have a run like that, he'll be okay.
Probably the best choice all along, frankly. Well, a lot of people in that part of the country that felt he was going to get the job when the decision was made to make a change.
Well, I'd say this for Peter Dallas. If there was any validity to all the offers, Mike Krzyzewski, Jimmy Valvano, Tom Davis, Larry Brown, they certainly went after some heavyweights and proven coaches.
There's a foul. So Martin draws the foul. He's just sort of standing there. One of the big guys, Laettner, ran over him, really.
Keith, what's your feeling on this? We mentioned Derek Martin. We just watched him in action right here. I really feel, as I said earlier, if a kid signs early with a school and a coach gets fired or he moves on for a new job for the country club and the new contract, I think the kid should be allowed to be re-recruited again for 2 weeks in April and let the new coach try to sign him or let him go elsewhere. Why should he be penalized and be asked to sit out a year when there's been a coaching change? Because most kids, 90% of them, pick a school because of the coach.
I think you're right. Basically, the only problem you've got with it is how do you police it? There's a whistle before the shot. No basket there. You've got 12 minutes and 34 seconds to go in the first half, and the East now, finally pecking away, has come to take the lead from the West, 17 to 16. Laettner now with 2 personal fouls.
There's Jim Holzman, the coach from out of Albuquerque High School, has got quite an attractive record, as does the Eastern coach, Bob Hurley, one of the best in America.
Soft pass, didn't have enough on it to get inside. They're still scrapping around over it, and it's going to be East ball.
Well, you don't see much strategy in all-star games. It's basically bring the ball up the court, think a little bit about passing the ball. Look at Bob Hurley's flashing signals. Bob Hurley says, we want the 2-play. They're looking, saying, what 2-play? This is all-star. Let me shoot the rock.
Jackson with 5 points, flipped it inside. Peeler loses control of the ball. Good defense inside by the West. Ahead to Big Roberts, and he is fouled by Peeler.
Stanley Roberts is going along with his high school coach. Jim Childers will join in the staff down at LSU. I don't have a problem with that if a guy is talented, Keith. If a guy has some ability. Now watch this 6'11" kid run the court. He gets the 45-degree angle. He gets really banged on the attempt. He has to work a little bit more on the defensive end.
East leads the West by 1 at 12:07 to play in the McDonald's All-America High School basketball game being held this year in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
And what a run he had during the tournament for Larry Brown. I guess I got to get ready to scrub the floor out in Lawrence, Kansas.
You do, yeah.
Well, hey, wait a minute. There's 6 months to go, and the Larry Brown soap opera will go on and on.
Callaway out of Indiana.
Yeah, Ricky
Callaway. Got to set out of here. Roberts shows that he needs a little work at the foul line, doesn't he?
Most big kids really have to work in that area, but he's got good touch, and he should be a better free throw shooter.
That's Mourning.
They say he's nothing but a defensive player. They're kidding themselves. This kid has range as a shooter as well, and will have a chance to make the U.S. Olympic team. The first high school player possibly to make the club, and I mean have a legitimate chance. That's how good he is, Keith.
McLean was inside and had a clean shot on the baseline for his jump hook, and he got intimidated by number 33, and he missed it.
I see he's intimidated right here. He's waiting for the shot block. Alonso wants to go get a piece of it. He says, no, I'm going to let you shoot that one.
Mourning with 5 rebounds and 4 points in the ball game.
John Thompson's jumping with joy. I know he's watching right now, and he's probably saying, that's my guy, Alonso.
Number 21, Milton Bell, is in the lineup as well. Green is fouled by McLean.
What quickness by Laettner Green. He's got the great first step, scored 58 points against Chris Jackson, but Jackson did not guard him. Now watch this quickness. There's the first step. Oh, he hangs in the air. 40 miles apart in Mississippi, a Laettner Green and a Chris Jackson. Look at the extension and the acceleration. Draw the contact. 39.7 a game, 11 rebounds a game, and 9 assists. As I said earlier, did anyone else play in the game?
He had 4 blocking backs.
Unbelievable.
4 rebounders.
He's got great personality. Met his principal. She's here. I was on a plane with her. She's so proud of Laettner. He's also a pretty good student. Has not decided yet. It's Georgia, Georgia Tech, Clemson, and Illinois.
Poole puts it up off the glass and slaps it through. Stacy Poole, who'll be going on down to Florida.
They'll be playing
Norm Sloan.
Norm Sloanini. I've changed his name. He's an Italian now. But Norm Sloan's got a great recruiting class coming in. Cesar Portillo, Jose Ramos.
Billy Owens misses. Rebound Bell. No. Up Mustaf, who's headed for Maryland. Mustaf can't come down with it. And the West runs it. Mayberry can't get it to drop. Fumbled away by Bell. Back to Poole. Nope. Slammed in there. Hard by Raymond Thompson.
Thompson, an athlete. Dr. Tom Davis is going to have him down at Iowa, where I believe they'll be a top 10 basketball team with Marble and Armstrong, and maybe their best player, Matt Bullard, who's a transfer from out of Colorado and an NBA, some people say, first-round candidate.
Owens missed it. Gets a rebound. And gets a foul from take a choice, Anderson or McLean, probably Anderson.
What a play right there by Billy Owens. He drives, shows good speed and quickness. Look at the mobility right here. 34, Carlisle High School. There he is taking the ball to the goal. Now watch the second effort. He takes it at some big people. Now he's right inside. Good offensive rebound position. Scored 53 in the state championship against Central Catholic out of Pittsburgh. And they say at the end of the third quarter, he outscored and out-rebounded the whole team in the state championship and won 4 consecutive state titles.
Dean Smith is still wondering what happened to his connection, right?
Yeah, Jeff Lebo didn't do a job recruiting him, that's for sure.
Air ball by Green. Poole comes out with it. And off the back iron. Nope. And West has still got it. That's Thompson losing his footing, and a foul whistled, and the foul is on Billy Owens. Mayberry handling the ball inside, almost broke free. Lee Mayberry is out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, in the white. And Mayberry is headed for, where's he going?
He's going to Arkansas with Todd
yeah.
Day, the outstanding player out of Memphis, Tennessee. That's a good duo they're getting down here, Nolan Richardson.
McLean misses. Owens rebounds. Take it in. Green.
Did you watch Billy Owens pass the rock? He gives it up. Very unselfish player.
Anderson.
Bobby Knight's going to like this kid, Eric Anderson. Pencil him into the starting lineup. The general's saying, hey, Vitale, don't pick my starting lineup. I probably gave the kiss of death by saying he's going to start.
Mourning outside. Nope.
Alonzo, go inside. You don't belong on a perimeter.
There's a foul. Billy Owens, silly foul, really, because he never had a hold of the ball. And in reaching around, trying to get it away from Thompson, slapped him over the arm.
Keith, how good is this class? To me, it's the greatest class ever, 6'5" and up. The question mark would be some of the guards. But basically, a lot of people said early this class might have been overrated. Forget about it. There are at least a half dozen impact players that are not even in the game. Keith Towers, Cesar Portillo, Mike Peplowski. These are all legitimate big people. Tower going to Notre Dame, Portillo to Florida, and Peplowski going to Michigan State.
Anderson again. And Mustaf the rebound.
Tough inside when you're shooting over Alonzo Mourning. That really bothered Eric Anderson right there.
Owens, good.
He's big time. He's a PTPer. The Carrier Dome will be rocking and rolling. What a trio. Douglas Coleman and Mr. Owens.
He's got 6 points.
His brother's a heck of a running back, and I know you had the Syracuse-Auburn game. His brother Michael is a heck of a running back.
Or Coach Mack. A little off balance, not quite enough on the shot to get it there. And the rebound by Milton Bell, who's 6'6", goes to Georgetown. Owens handling outside with Bell. And Bell, back iron. That rebound, Mourning had it for a moment. Owens came inside to get it, to slam it in.
The Carlisle Crasher, Mr. Billy Owens. There'll be 30,000 plus every day at the Carrier Dome, one of the better environments in college basketball.
Inside Anderson, doubled, back to Thompson. To West, won't stay in there.
Nice bounce pass.
Bell can't get it. Rebound, Thompson. Thompson's going to fit that Iowa running game. He just ran right over Green there. Really pelted him, but the big guy can haul it.
He should have given the ball up a little sooner, Keith. But you're right. He's going to fit into the style of play with the Iowa Hawkeyes. He's an athlete. They like to run and press. Should have given it up a little bit earlier.
One of the things that Laterrell Green's going to have to learn, though, even though he's strong and young, little fast people lose to big fast people.
Putting the ball to the deck. Remember, he's 6'8". There he is, pulling up, shooting the jump shot, squares his body, good rotation, excellent touch. And now we're going to watch him on the inside. There he is with a rebound, jamming it, shows it. There's a look at Laterrell putting some ice on his chin. And a look at number 34, Billy Owens.
Owens 8 points and 4 rebounds. Mourning 4 points and 5 rebounds. That's why the East has taken a 25-22 lead over the West. West deflects the ball. Anderson breaks away. Jackson fouls him.
I thought it was a little walk-in violation, but they let him get away with that one. Good anticipation. Eric Anderson steps in the passing lane from out of Chicago, Illinois. Took a little extra hop. He's going to, again, fit perfect in a Bobby Knight system. Team concept, like good, tough, tenacious defense. He'll be definitely a factor there as a freshman, along with the kid Jay Edwards, who was by far the best freshman in the Big Ten last year.
That's 9 fouls on the East team. At 10, you shoot a 1+1. You get in a bonus situation. West has 6 fouls.
You talk about the Big Ten is going to be awesome again next year. They have so many key players returning, and also Illinois with the addition of Marcus Liberty, who everybody says should be eligible with Anderson and Battle. They should be an awesome team. Oh, good look.
Off the hands of Bell. Ball turned over, goes to the white-clad West team.
Milton Bell, 6'6" player's got explosive jumping ability. He's going to have to work a little bit more on his perimeter shot. In fact, Georgetown has, oh, good back screen. Good back screen for that layup.
Mayberry of Arkansas puts it in there.
Mayberry's a point guard, and he'll play a lot down at Arkansas.
Bad pass. Ball in the hands of Mayberry. Back to Stakinga.
What a pass by Mayberry. Nolan Richardson, you got yourself a dandy. A Razorback. Great vision, excellent bounce pass. And Stakinga, you got to like that kid from out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. Watch him in a slam dunk contest at halftime. That's Stakinga.
Palmer double teamed inside and is finally fouled by Mayberry.
Crawford Palmer's going to be a physical player in the Duke system. Duke returns so many outstanding players. Danny Ferry. They have Robert Brickey, an outstanding athlete. They have some good inside people. Abdel Nabi, John Smith. The question mark with Duke, they have to find, I believe, another guard, even though Snyder is certainly a solid point guard and Henderson's a good shooter.
Werdan inside, takes a walk. Turns it over.
They're having a tough time making an entry inside, getting any kind of rhythm to their half-court offensive game.
Well, you got Laettner and Palmer both going in there. They figure to be bench people the first time out, but those are two big, strong kids.
They'll get a lot of playing time off the bench and really contribute in the Mike Krzyzewski system.
Jackson, that's three, goes. Rebound inside, goes to Ellis. LaFonso Ellis, who's headed for Diggins of Notre Dame.
What a recruiting class they've put together. Digger and John Shoemate.
Follows out of bounds.
See a lot of the big kids now, they see the guards coming down shooting the J and they say, heck, we might as well shoot it. But when they play on a collegiate level and they get into that puzzle, they'll put them right where they belong. And Mr. Ellis will be along that baseline for Notre Dame. They also got a super quick kid by the name of Keith Bennett and another good player by the name of Keith Powers, 6'11", inside player.
Good pass inside to Werdan by Seeley. And Seeley is fouled.
Seeley's going out to St. John's for Louis Cornacecca. Played really well in the Capital Classic. Take a look right here at the grade point average of some of these kids. They show they've done the job in the classroom as well. Laettner going to Duke, Stakinga, Michigan State, Ellis, Notre Dame, and Seeley from out of Tallentine, the #1 high school team in the nation, according to USA Today, going to St. John's.
You always have the feeling, too, that a kid with a grade point average is going to be the first one to contribute.
Well, there's no question. You like that combination. You can't beat it when you have a kid who has academic success as well as athletic success. These teams are having a tough time on that free throw line. I think I got to go out there and show them how to shoot the rock, Keith. Now, you've seen me shoot it now. Laugh at my shot. I got great rotation and touch.
Yeah, but they put a regular-sized basket on that. You got a bucket when you're out there. Chris Jackson handling the ball out in front.
These games are usually guard dominated.
As Ellis up for the rebound, he wanted to buggy whip it the length of the court as they tried to effect a breakaway for Mayberry, and he got hung up. Somebody hung him on the arm.
You know, I was talking to you yesterday about some of the phases these kids will go through. The expectations phase is going to be tough for a lot of them to deal with. Trying to blend in with other great players and become option number 3 and 4 as opposed to being option number 1 like they've been on a scholastic level.
He actually was on the out of bounds, too. So Seeley, as the East gets possession, drives in and drops it softly through for the East to make it a 28-27 East lead.
Seeley's a good baseline performer. He really likes playing along that baseline.
Blocking foul, Werdan.
Werdan's got really good hands and good post moves inside. And with the Cornacecca system, he plays a lot of half-court basketball. Played for an outstanding coach, Jack Curran, down at Archbishop Malloy. What a track record he has put together. And they tell me, where do we see Kenny Anderson? And I'm sure he'll be in this game next year.
That's 10 fouls now on the East team. So they go to the bonus. At 5:26 to go in the first half.
You know, mentioning DeMatha and Danny Ferry went to DeMatha High. Morgan Wooten's going to meet Ronald Reagan in the Rose Garden next Friday. He said before he heads west and goes out to Bel Air, he wants to meet Mr. Wooten. Ready for this? He has 876 career wins.
Palmer gets it to drop.
He's a big horse. O'Nelly, he's a big horse.
Yeah, he's strong. Well, the thing about so many of them, Dick, is all of them seem to have the big frames, as Verdun rolling around on the floor now. You're going to get a jump ball call on it. But here's an example. Verdun looks to me like his frame is big enough just through normal development. He's going to add another 20 pounds.
Yeah, he's going to get stronger. They'll get him in a weight room, and he'll get much stronger. When you look at the recruiting class in the Big East, we talked about Syracuse. They certainly have had, and many people believe, the best recruiting class in the nation. If you just look at high school players, I believe UNLV, Jerry Tarkanian, when you consider the junior college players, is probably the best. But St. John's and Georgetown, all three of them have done exceptionally well in the Big East Conference.
Verdun went inside, and the three white shirts came at him, all of them trees, and they just hammered him.
I got such a kick yesterday at practice talking to a lot of these kids and watching them play. I mean, I'm just awed by the talent level. We're looking at really impact players here, kids that will step in as starters immediately. When we look at the size factors, and we're going to document it at halftime, 1979 produced some great players. You had Isaiah Thomas, who I believe has been the best point guard that I've witnessed in college basketball in my 9 years on television for what he did at Indiana. But they had Wilkins and Worthy and guys like Stepanovich and certainly Sampson and Bowie. But this class is deeper and bigger.
Certainly bigger. Jackson,
watch him jump. He can bounce. I'll tell you one thing, too. We hear about the recruiters and about the college coaches. What about these kids, though, that manipulate some of these recruiters? I mean, some of these kids are still open, and I really wonder. We got Green and Jackson and McLean, and these guys are drooling. Uh-oh.
Seeley.
Mr. Seeley.
Oh, I don't think there's any question but what the phone rings at both ends in this recruiting gig. There's manipulation at both ends.
No doubt about it. The coaches get a lot of criticism, but also an 18-year-old kid, they play a little bit of the game as well.
4:02 to go in the first half. East 36.
To get to that Isaiah Thomas. Look at that acrobatic. Wow.
Chris Mills immediately making his presence felt as he comes back into the ball game. That's Hodge, who's going to play for John Chaney at Temple. He's 6'10", 6'11", and soft touch.
He's got good offensive ability. He'll step in for Tim Perry, who, by the way, is really exciting. All the NBA scouts down in Orlando played really well.
Over the back, Roberts.
You know, I was getting to Isaiah. What I wanted to say, Keith, and you knew I was upset yesterday. A national magazine has an article by a writer I've never talked to, don't know who he is, never met him, never called me. He's got me quoted with some negative comments about Isaiah Thomas that blew my mind. All I could say is journalistic rubbish. And plain, I wish these guys, hey, I'm easy for a quote. Guy only has to do is call me up and I'll give him all the quotes he wants. But I happen to be a big fan of Isaiah Thomas. Oh, I got that off my chest. Good.
Laettner dropped it in. Slam dunkers. And a look at some of the big men.
You know, I was talking about the Big Ten, and next year the Big Ten has got some outstanding teams again. I think Illinois, Iowa, and Michigan certainly could beat all three of them in the top 10 in America, certainly in my poll. And you never can count out Indiana. And Ohio State with Gary Williams and Michigan State had great recruiting classes.
Mills a little late with his pass, but recovers. Now goes to Martin. Got it.
Where will he be? Will he be in a UCLA uniform? Or maybe will he go to the schools that were initially involved? Initially it was Duke, Arizona, UNLV, University of Southern Cal. The big soap opera will continue with Derek Martin at UCLA.
That shot is forced. Rebound by Owens. Missed it, and slamming it home is Gerard Mustaf.
Mustaf's got a lot of skills. Morgan Wooten was telling me last night on a roundtable discussion. He said this kid can play anywhere along the baseline. He's very agile. As we take a look at him right here, number 34. He'll be joining down at Maryland Brian Williams, who starred in this game last year.
Yep. Well, he's staying at home, too. I sort of like that. Admire that. Running cross-country, coast to coast. I don't know.
Well, those guys in the East don't want to hear you saying that in the Big East. You want to keep those California kids home.
Whether they like it or not. There's an inherent risk when an 18-year-old goes from coast to coast. Almost got it to work, but a little bit too long. Ball rolling around. And finally, it is controlled by Billy Owens.
Look at Billy Owens. Look one way. What a... Oh!
That's slammed home by Hodge.
You know, Hodge gets the play, but I don't know if people realize what a play Owens just made in transition at 6'8". Our producer's reading my mind. Ken Wolf, the outstanding guard from Harvard University.
That's a foul on Martin.
Kenny said he played at Harvard. They play basketball at Harvard?
Used to.
I know. They had a guy by the name of James Brown, too. Does a fine job at CBS. Played with him on that team. They had an outstanding team. I know one thing. When you walk down the aisle and get that piece of paper, you're going places in life.
Yep.
I couldn't spell Harvard, so I couldn't get in. The only chance I could get in is to visit. Take a look at Owens. He looks one way, kicks it another way. We're going to look again at Mr. Owens as we watch the drive right here, and Hodge comes over. Hodge going with John Chaney, who was my choice as Coach of the Year this year. I thought Chaney, when you look from out of the gate to what he did at the finish, had a fantastic season. And we all know about Mark Shakin' Bacon Macon, who played in this game last year.
Where does Owens play for Bayhawk?
Anywhere he wants, anytime he wants, any place he wants. Hey, Derek Coleman, I hope he doesn't sulk and pout, because Mr. Owens is going to get the rock in his hands a great deal, and Coleman sometimes is his biggest enemy.
Day picks off the loose rebound for the West. Can't get it. And finally the East comes out with it. Bell on the move. Peeler, he's loose.
Oh, Mr. Peeler, throw it down. Missouri, Norm Stewart says bye-bye to the Band-Aid man, Chivas, and now he gets Peeler.
Coach Holtzman wants timeout. Good reason. Minute 52 to go in the first half, and the East threatening to blow it wide open with a 16-point lead, 49-33.
Well, we looked at, kids can play in as many All-Star games as possible. Now they can only play in 2. And to me, sometimes, you know, they got to realize this. Oh, look at that move inside. A lot of people try to exploit these kids and get them involved in all kinds of situations. But most of these kids, getting back to your question, will play around their area in different summer leagues. I'm sure Mr. Mourning will be going to the Olympic trials.
Well, I'm sure he will too. But there are other times when a coach who you've invested so much of your future in a young person like this, and the young man's future is also invested, I guess there must be a moment of persuasion where you don't really want him bopping around playing in too many games, do you?
Well, you want him to certainly be fresh when the season starts.
Emotionally, if nothing else.
And hey, with that long-range jump shot, the game is such a highly specialized game now, where kids are playing 12 months a year with all these specialized camps, and I really believe that's the reason that we see the skill level getting better and better.
Bell spins it off the baseline.
Ding-dong bell.
Not bad. 6-6.
He's out of Richmond, Virginia, going out to Georgetown.
Kemp. Power move.
Sean Kemp from out of Elkhart, Indiana, took his team to the final game. A big-time scorer. There he is, working on the interior, taking it right up home. I mean, he is taking it to the goal. They dump it in. Now watch him right here. Number 40, good hands, super strength. His problem is that he tries to be a little bit too much a perimeter player and a finesse player instead of getting on the interior.
Now 12-point difference, 53-41, a half a minute to go in the first half. Whistle inside, and a foul.
You know, Keith, getting back to the kids playing all year long, there are some positives about these all-star games, but there are some negatives as well. There's no question, for example, kids missing class, but when you talk to the people involved, they have such a schedule for the kids. They get a chance to hear John Wooden speak. That's worth, I don't know, you know, to me, that's just unbelievable to hear his pyramid of success and what a winner's all about. As we look at Coach Wooden, 10 national championships in 12 years, the greatest achievement, I believe, ever in sports. So there are a lot of positives, but there are some negatives. And the negatives, kids signing autographs at age 16 and 17 and 18, their heads get blown out of proportion. And we're guilty. I know I'm guilty. There's no question about it.
That's why I asked you what I asked you a while ago. Where do you have a chance to go just rest and be yourself before you go off to that collegiate adventure, which is ain't a gimme going to college.
Well, they should let the kids not play as freshmen. They should really have freshmen adjust to college life and not be eligible immediately.
Muskoff trying to give it inside. Ball still rolling around, and Now you got a foul whistle.
Hey, is he taking this serious? Look at Jim Hulsman. He's got the glasses on. He's from out of Albuquerque High School. Look at him right here, scratching his head.
Yeah, his folks are down by 10.
He said he couldn't believe it yesterday. All the kids were signing autographs, and nobody was asking him for an autograph. Now we watch him trying to post inside. There's the base. Look at the coach. Look at Hulsman. He's thinking this is a legitimate season. Look at that move along the baseline. So acrobatic.
Mourning to the line. Rebound taken out of there by Roberts. The half is over. And the East will go to the clubhouse, leading the West by 10 points at halftime, 53-43. And the only player not to score on either team in the first half, LaFonso Ellis, but he'll get his, I'm pretty sure, in the second half. Slam dunk.
Gonna have those guys a little worried in the Pac-10.
Anderson tries to take it to the board. Doesn't get it the first time. Stays with it and slams it home. And it's now an 8-point difference to the ball game as the East comes up. Handling the ball is Laettner Green. Alonzo Mourning is out there. Mustaf is out there. Seeley is out there. Shot comes off. Slapped into the corner. West has it. Breakaway Thompson. Seeley back defending. Thompson blows it. And the rebound comes off to Laettner. And now the blue-shirted East team with a chance underneath. Reverse slam by Mourning, and their lead is back to 10.
Mourning very physical, but what an outstanding play we just had on the other end defensively by Eric Anderson. He's a tenacious player out of St. Francis de Sales, out of Chicago, Illinois, going to Bloomington, Indiana.
There's a foul inside, and the foul is whistled on number 42 of the blue team. That's Christian Laettner.
Laettner, very strong player. He's also a finesse player as well. He's got the good body, had some great numbers out of Nichols High School out of Buffalo, New York.
Raymond Thompson brings it into the corner. Poole puts it up. It is no good. Anderson runs it down on the baseline. Don McLean is out there for the West team.
McLean's been really quiet. I don't believe he's scored yet today, and he's wide open. I think he's going to UCLA.
Poole got it.
Stacy Poole, they're going to like him down in Gainesville, Florida. They got an excellent recruiting class. In fact, I would go the Big East, the Southeastern Conference, and the Big Ten as having the 3 best classes coming in next year to college basketball.
Florida season unraveled on them, didn't it, this year?
Oh, yeah, they really had. You talk about a soap opera. There's a good baseline drive right there.
Jared Mustaf.
He's got great quickness for a 6'10 player.
Poole answers.
Poole, Norm Sloan's got to like him. They need somebody to replace Vernon Maxwell. I was sad to learn about Maxwell's problem with cocaine, and the one good thing, at least he's being honest about it. Now he's going to have to attack that problem head to head. Look at
how you like that move by Seeley, huh?
Yeah, Seeley, a quick player. He's
6 points.
Little Louie's going to like having him down at St. John.
Poole answers. That's twice in a row. Stacy Poole has come down within your face.
Yeah, Stacy Poole really waking up right here in the second half. I believe is his 3rd basket, 2 in a row here in the second half.
59-51, East by 8. 17:45 to go in the game. This Laettner Green works to the baseline and runs into a very tall gentleman named McLean there. And McLean literally arrests him, body and soul.
McLean is an excellent shooter. He's got great range as a shooter. Here comes Laettner Green. They said, no, this is not Mississippi, baby. He slips. They said, this is not high school. You got to play with us big guys. Laettner said, hey, nobody cleared out for me.
Jump ball, possession arrow east, so they don't lose it. There's inside the 3-point line by Seeley. But he drops it softly through, and now he's got 8 points.
Well, he was 10 for 12 in a Capital Classic and was the MVP. Played brilliantly along. I'm not sure now. I'll take that back. I'm not certain he got the MVP. I think Laettner Green was the MVP. In fact, I'm told Laettner did get the MVP.
All right, East will handle the ball.
He's got a certain amount of cockiness about him. He's one of those old Muhammad Ali kind of guys I talk about, like Derek Chivas, and they go out and they really back it up, and I believe he can back up his little talk.
That's a bad pass by Laettner. He's trying to lob it inside to Mustaf, but Mustaf is Day fronting him, and Day's a leaper.
That's a Marconi special. He telegraphed that, baby.
Yep. Got to put some mustard on it if you're going to try to go that tight inside.
You know, you mentioned Stacy Poole in Florida. The key down there is Dwayne Shinsis. It's about time he starts to mature a little because he's got, again, a lot of potential, but he's so up and down. And his maturity will determine how far and how good they'll be.
Todd Day loses control and turns it over to the Blue East team. So Todd Day at 6'7", headed for Arkansas, has a turnover. He's out of Memphis, Tennessee.
Well, Bob Gibbons of the All-Star Report really rates him very high. He's a real big fan of Mr. Day. And when you look at his numbers, you can see why out of Memphis, Tennessee.
That time, Laettner tried to whip it to Seeley down inside on the baseline. Almost worked. But he needed a Magic Johnson sort of a bullet to get through the pack.
There's only one Irvin Magic Johnson. He's a winner every level he's been. Look at that strength.
And Mourning is fouled by Anderson.
You know, the amazing thing when you talk about Georgetown, they're not only getting Mr. Mourning, they have a junior college player who's going to be eligible by the name of Turner, and they have another kid from Zaire. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but John Thompson, every time he sees me, he says, Dick, I'm telling you, Macombo. And I asked Mourning about him, and I guess Mourning's seen the kid play, and he said he's a 7-footer who's got good quickness. And then he has all those other kids back, Bryant, and also, oh, look at this little good-looking guy. They got Bryant back, and they have Tillman back, and a kid by the name of Anthony Tucker, so it should be a big, big year for Georgetown. I'm laying a pressure on Mr. Thompson.
No respect.
He doesn't worry about pressure. I'll tell you, he's a Hall of Famer. He just goes out and wins and wins and wins.
62-51 East. Anderson has it in the paint. Blocked by Laettner. Foul by Laettner.
He's tenacious, Mr. Anderson. He's got a lot of tenacity. He's a tough kid.
Comes out of St. Francis de Sales High School in Chicago.
There's the drive, seals it off, keeps the ball away from the defense, gets the body contact.
And it's 4 fouls on Laettner.
It's nice to see him use the left hand, ambidextrous right here, shooting free throws. That's an art of the game that kids have to work a little bit more on. You got to be like an automatic here, so you can't shoot 50% on that free throw line. You got to make both of those.
Like putting. You want to play with the big boys, you got to putt. Blocked inside.
Laettner just keeps
Mourning. Nope. Yeah, that's Seeley slipping in. Sneaky, strong, and quick inside, isn't he?
You know, it's amazing here. The talent level is so good that these kids neutralize some of the great, great talent that's on the floor.
Three-pointer won't drop. Mayberry.
Oh, give him 5 for that one. Ed Stites, the rules committee, give him 5 for that acrobatic shot. Degree of difficulty. Look at Laettner, the great smile. This kid's a politician. If he doesn't make it in basketball, I really believe he can become a politician. He's very articulate. Look at this move right here. He hangs, he twists. That's a Keith Jackson special. Oh, Nelly, it's going in.
Not bad. Kind of interesting. Green, on the other hand, comes down. Got a little hot dog showed up that time as he was going to answer, right?
Oh, you got to put a lot of mustard on Mr. Green. I'll tell you, you got to load it up with relish, sauerkraut, New York style.
He landed in the cheerleader's laps. Got a foul.
That's not too bad landing there.
No, you're right. Chris Jackson replaces him. There's a nice effort by Bell, but it won't drop. And West has the ball.
I'm going to give you my preseason top 10 in the next few moments. We're going to come out with our top 10 for next year.
LaFonso Ellis misses off the back iron, but Anderson runs it down for the West.
Ellis is so much better than what we've seen here today.
There's a left-hander, won't go.
He led his high school to 2 state championships, AA. Look at this, give it up. Oh, yeah, gave the rock up.
That's goaltending. Ellis.
That is goaltending. He gave the rock up, just like one of the Damon Runyon figures in basketball always says. Tutti Cericcione, I introduced you to him one time down in Vegas. He says he gives up the rock. There it is, he gave the rock up.
And for Billy Owens, that's 10 points. 12-point lead East. 33, that's why they lead by 12.
Look at the field goal percentage. The reason it's so down is because you don't have that great rhythm offensively and that togetherness.
Al Ellis took his time. If he'd have taken that pass and just slammed it, he'd have been all right. But he wanted to kiss it off the glass, and he got trapped and lost the basket opportunity.
What a pass right there by Billy Owens. He really is a master of that bounce pass on an entry from the 45-degree angle. A very difficult pass to make, and he's 6'8". He went between the legs twice. What a bounce pass we just seen by this guy.
Stegenga is back in, Poole back in for the West. Mayberry goes to the line on the tee, hanging on the bucket rim. Anderson stays out there, and so does Ellis.
You know what really impresses me about Owens and Mourning, Keith, and I know you like this in athletes, they're very unselfish. They're not greedy. They're not just trying to score. They're trying to do all the little things that it takes to win. Pass the basketball, rebound, block shots, play defense.
There's a block by Bell, but picked up by Poole, and comes outside to Werdan.
It's the Billy show.
Well, it's a dandy from outside, but the point on Owens is he gave up the ball right there. Now, perfect example of it. He's got the accolades. He knows where he's going. He knows who he is. He's a mature young player. He knows himself. So why not give it up?
Yeah, he really does have an awareness of the game. He's got great basketball savvy.
That's Peeler. That time it won't roll for him.
Peeler's going to be Mr. Excitement in a Big 8. What a year the Big 8 had this year. The big question mark is the replacement of all the great seniors that are moving on. The Mannings, the Grayers, the Richmonds, the Harvey Grants.
Ellis back to Poole.
Stacy's not
foul on Poole, huh?
Stacy's not bashful, is he?
No, he's not.
He's not bashful. He says, hey, I got to get some of my shots up there, too. He had a great career in Jacksonville, Florida. Played out of Nathan Forrest High School, 20 points a game, 10 rebounds a game, 6'5", with lots of quickness.
All right, Poole is leaving. And Raymond Thompson is coming back for the West team. McLean comes back. Anderson goes out for the West.
You know, we talk about Billy Owens going to Syracuse. They also have an athlete, 6'5", from out of Louisiana, David Johnson. Anthony Scott from Rochester, New York, 6'7". Dave
Chris Jackson, line drive. That time it wouldn't go down. Here comes Ellis again. He's yet to score. Gives it up to McLean.
Oh.
It's just peeled out of the air by Milton Bell.
Oh!
You like that?
Oh, Mr. Jackson with a little English on it.
McLean got it.
That's the thing he does best. He can catch the ball, and he's an excellent perimeter shooter. He has to work a little bit more on getting tougher and being a better rebounder.
13-point lead right now for the East as Jackson goes again.
Chris Jackson, I watched him at Sonny Vaccaro's Dapper Dan, and he's just as good today as he was then. An automatic scorer.
Ellis fouled.
Take a look right now. We're going to watch Chris Jackson as he gets the ball. There's the ball now to Jackson. Here he comes from out of Gulfport, Mississippi. Look at the hang time. Look at the body control. And then the English. And that's why he scored 31 points a game. You want to talk about achievement? Alonzo Mourning, 3 years in a row, was voted the most outstanding player at Howard Garfinkel's 5-star basketball camp. No one has ever done it. The only player in 22 years, and they've had every great player there you can think about, from Moses Malone right down the line. Here's some of the fans at the pit. This
Bell is up for the rebound as Ellis misses.
This is a great home court advantage. When they had those red hankies flying, they get 17,000 plus. Gary Colson's averaged 21 games a year that he's won in his last 5 years. Beat Arizona, as we talked about earlier, in that big win for New Mexico.
Peeler gives it up to Werdan.
Werdan was kind of surprised. He said, Anthony, that's probably your first assist in the last 2 All-Star games. Anthony said, it's about time I give the rock up a little bit. I like Anthony Peeler, though.
East is blowing it open now. 17-point lead at 12.5 minutes to go in the ball game. McLean can't get it. Ball rolls on the floor. It's picked up inside by Stegenga, and he's fouled.
Stegenga will play immediately up at Michigan State. They need a lot of help. And Judd Heathcote, again, had a tremendous recruiting class. Not only Stegenga, Mike Peplowski at 6'10", Joe Zuloff at 6'7", John Rather, Mark Montgomery, 6'3" guard, and Parrish Hickman, a 6'7" forward from out of Redford, Michigan. There's Stegenga out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. Slam jam dunk winner.
That's a three-point play, and it's 75-61 now. 14-point lead for the East. Chris Jackson handles it out in front.
Well, whether he goes to LSU or Georgetown, he'll hook up either with Roberts or with Mourning. What a combination. That'll be inside-outside over the next 4 years.
Owens misses. Ellis, another rebound. Mayberry on the move. Challenges the big man. Owens. And foul, Owens. Well, he took it right to his number, didn't he?
Look at Billy Owens, number 34. Winner with a capital W. He's got a lot of the traits of the Magic Man. Win, win, and win. 4 consecutive state championships. Look at Billy Owens coming over. He's trying to get the block right here, using the left hand, which is the hand you want to in that situation. 4 consecutive state championships. Dave Lebo. I mean, you talk about quite an achievement. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, but that was 6'2" Mayberry taking it up over Billy Owens, who stands 6'8".
You like that right there, huh? You like that achievement. You love that.
I like that.
I saw your face smile when the little guy took it at the big people.
It's Gizzard.
You like all those underdogs.
A play like that will win a game for you.
Oh, look at these right here. Cuties.
Big powwow went on here yesterday over the weekend. Didn't finish until about 2:30 this morning.
Oh,
she's the biggest Indian powwows in the West.
She's adorable. They're adorable. I'm going to put one of those costumes on and do a little powwow.
Please, please. We have peace at the moment. Let's leave it there.
They're really exciting to watch. It was quite a halftime show. It was excellent.
Did you see it yesterday? This building was filled with them.
Yeah, it was.
Really something. 75-62. Just under 12 minutes to play now. Hodge. And a whistle. Traveling before the shot called on Malaxini. Owens is out of the game right now. Leads all the effort on the eastern side with 10 points and 11 rebounds at 11:46 to play in the game. Here's Dick Vitale's preseason top 10. So there you are. Videotape it, write it down quickly, and stick it.
Subject to change, though. It's so early in the year. Mike Krzyzewski saying, no, Dick, not number 1. But I like Duke. I like their defensive ability. I like the people returning. And Danny Ferry's an All-American. Illinois with Marcus Liberty, Georgetown. I mean, we're looking at some dynamite clubs. It'll be another year of greatness in basketball. And Vegas has got a host of new kids. David Butler, Moses Scurry, George Ackles out of the junior college ranks. Greg Anthony will be eligible. They're going to have a great team, Jerry Tarkanians.
You hope they'll be eligible.
Well, Greg Anthony can really play. Jerry told us that potentially he thinks he's the best guard he will ever coach. And
let me ask you a question.
Uh-oh, don't be tough on me now. Don't be tough.
Why do you, as the big guy Roberts works it inside, why do you open yourself to all the abuse you know you're going to get?
I don't know. I guess I like it. There's a look again at the top 10. Carolina, number 5 with J.R. Reed. Kenneth Williams is not in the game, but if he is eligible, he's going to be a great addition to North Carolina, an offensive machine. Frieda, I've been good to him. I put him number 6 rather than number 1 this year. But with Mr. Mills coming back and everybody else, Glenn Rice and Ramil Robinson, getting Sean Higgins back, Michigan will be very good.
Al Martin hasn't done much today. Mills, on the other hand, has.
Chris Mills active inside. You talked about the M&M boys involved in a lot of controversy, Mills and Martin.
Green hustling.
Ooh, a little air ball. Not really playing well today, Laturo Green. Not having the kind of game he's capable.
Mills lost it, keeps it.
Give it up!
Give it up!
Give it up! I guess everybody else in Albuquerque thought he should give it up.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing, if Rex Chapman's in front of him next year in Lexington, he don't give it up. Those boos out of Ruffle a little rough.
I'll tell you what, if he doesn't give it up at Kentucky next year, he'll be on the pine.
Woo! They have some players down there. Leron Ellis, and Kentucky's certainly going to be very good. There's a look at Bob Hurley. I really believe he should be coaching on a collegiate level. He really is an outstanding coach, Keith. I spoke at his camp years and years ago when he gave me $20 and a ham and cheese sandwich, and I had a great time, and I knew right then he was going to be a winner.
East ball at 10 minutes and 36 seconds to play, and the East leading by 11.
You know, there aren't any coaches here, and you alluded to it earlier, because the contact and evaluation period ended April 16th. There's now these recruiting periods. And, oh, good look inside.
Well, Sean Kemp was right there to take the play away from Crawford Palmer.
There's some positives as we look right here. They got a little triangle set up. There's the triangle. Two guys on the box. The ball up on top. There's Kemp coming over to challenge him, but fouls him on the play.
Our crowd, incidentally, is 12,815.
There's some positives about the recruiting periods, which really don't allow the assistant coaches to live with the kid and see him a great deal. But there's some negatives. The negatives are the borderline player now. Everybody knows that these guys right here are solid gold. But what about the borderline player that you have to see a number of times before you determine if you can play Division I? I mean, you take a look, for example, at guys that Percy Hawkins, he wasn't a McDonald's All-American. David Robinson, Armin Gilliam, and a host of others that you need time to evaluate. So there's a negative, and the lower Division I schools get hurt because there's no way they can recruit a player of this quality on 3 contacts home and away.
But at the same time, everybody doesn't mature at 18.
No doubt about it. When I say home and away, you're allowed 3 contacts with a player in his home, and you're allowed 3 away from his home. And it's good in a way, though. It reduces the number of times you can really disturb the young athlete, let him enjoy his senior year. I think the positives outweigh the negatives.
Mustaf inside, has it checked away by Kemp. Good play by Sean Kemp. And look at him run it down the middle. He keeps it coast to coast. It missed it. Oh, my goodness. Roberts at 270 pounds.
Woo!
Really hammered it in there. And Crawford Palmer looks like he's shaking up.
What a play by Sean Kemp. The problem is he tries to be a perimeter player. Here he is now. We're looking at a 6'9". Look at him handle the rock. I mean, there he is right now. Little twist, little turn, and here comes Mr. Roberts, number 53. He's, let me take this one. I'm taking it right home. Boy, is he strong at 270. Woo.
I don't know if he's that big or not, but he could be.
He's a lovable kid, too. He's got great personality. He's another version of Bob Lanier, the big dauber who I had a chance to coach.
I'm not sure that Dale Brown is interested in all that lovable stuff.
There's a look at Jim Holzman. He's having a ball down here. Out of Albuquerque, head coach of the West.
That's 4 personal fouls now on Sean Kemp. Sean's been active here in the second half, the last 10 minutes. That's 6 minutes, actually. At 76-64, 12-point lead East. Martin almost stole that ball, but they get a gimme inside on a little bit of a mishandle, and Seeley winds up with an easy one.
Seeley really knows how to play around the basket. He hangs around the glass. He's a good active player along that baseline.
Martin begging his case and winds up eating it, but Peeler steps on the line as he starts to come out of backcourt with it.
It's going to be interesting staying tuned to that Derek Martin situation, but there was an interesting comment made by the dad to me. He said there's been no communication yet between Jimmy Herrick and Derek. I really believe when Jimmy Herrick gets a chance to sit, to talk to him, and get to know him, that there's a chance, there's a trifecta right there, that I really believe when he sits down and looks at all the ultimate possible options, that he might still be in a UCLA uniform.
Ball knocked loose. Day comes out of it with a West on the run. They just came off a 3-pointer, and there's a 2-pointer that won't go down, and the blocking foul is called on Palmer.
I wouldn't want to play horse against a lot of these kids. The agility and the body control. I mean, you want to shoot the little one-hander. I don't know how you can duplicate some of the things that we see. All-American mania.
Todd Day, 6'7" guard.
Look at it.
Wingman from Memphis.
How are you going to duplicate that? Unbelievable.
He has 10 points, a quiet 10 points. You know, Seeley has 12 points to lead the East team. That's a quiet 12. Back iron.
We talked about some trivia last night. Here's some trivia for the people out there. Morgan Rubin, Howard Garfinkel, yours truly, and a bunch of others were sitting around. Who led the nation in scoring on the only national championship team? Little hint. Came out of the Big 8. Another hint. Little acrobatic inside. Clyde Laveller. You know Big Clyde going to the Hall of Fame.
Down 9 as Peeler brings it down for the East.
Hey, the Pit's waking up here. They're rooting for the West. Oh, goaltending. Where's the call?
Roberts was just a little late.
She doesn't like it. Look at her. She doesn't like the call. She's part of the Kansas delegation. They want the McDonald's game next year in Kansas City over at Kemp. Oh, that's goaltending. No doubt about it by Mr. Roberts.
11-point game now at 8:40 to go.
The crowd's finally woke up here.
Yep. Roberts inside. Got it.
Oh, he can score, Keith. Dale Brown's got himself a good one in Mr. Roberts. And Dale can motivate. You talk about one of the great motivators.
Stolen by Martin.
Give it back to the trailer.
Goaltending.
Score the goal. He got fouled, too. Score the basket.
No, they won't score it.
Oh! Score the goal and give him the foul. Yeah, I agree with that fan up in the third deck. Take a look at Martin now. He takes it to the goal. Here comes the little guy. Will he be at UCLA? There's the goaltending. Take a look at Jimmy Hulsman. Is he into this? Look at him. He says, I love it. Count it. I like his hairstyle. I love that crew cut. Mine used to be like that.
I wore one like that for 25 years. Loved it. It's scratched with all the comfort in the world, right?
Yeah, I like mine too, but I don't have to worry about it anymore.
8:21 to go. It is now an 8-point lead. He's sort of dozed off here, and the West now getting some good board work. Just come back. A couple of three-pointers helped them. Crowd now into it.
They are into it. They're saying, go West, young man, go West.
Mustaf to the baseline. Messed up inside by Sean Kemp.
Mustaf's got that great first step. When he hooks up with Brian Williams and also Tony Massenberg is scoring inside. Let me tell you, Bob Hurley is an unbelievable competitor. He wants the W. Look at him. Look at him. Look at Bob Hurley. He's saying, come on, come on. Figure that out. I can't figure out what he's doing. He's looking like one of those wacky football coaches.
Inside, Alonzo Mourning. Fouled. I think it looks to me like there's some folks in the crowd that know how to work the pit.
This place must be something else. Oh, it is. Ask Lute Olson. He'll tell you about this place.
And about 400 other guys. 81-73. 8:07 to go in the game. Day survives a bump. Nope, he didn't either. Jim Danner caught him down on the baseline.
Look at Jim.
Milton Bell gets dinged with a foul.
We're taking a look at a mini version of Judd Heathcote right here. Hey, Judd, I thought you're not supposed to be coaching here. That's Judd Heathcote. Look at him. Stomping and screaming and ranting and raving, but I get winning seasons.
In rebounds, the East with 63, the West 49. East leads 81-75. East has the ball. Chris Jackson. Rebound, Billy Owen. Inside, Laettner. Owens loses out of bounds. East keeps it.
But notice
Mourning and Milton Bell, the other player.
Keith, notice how a great player wants the ball late in the game. Here's another example. Billy Owens wanted the basketball. It's crunch time. He knows his team needs a basket. They're on the ropes a little bit right now. A little rocky after the big lead.
Mourning inside is held by Ellis.
Alfonso hasn't had a typical Ellis day. Certainly not the kind of play that led East St. Louis Lincoln High School to 2 consecutive state championships.
That's 10 team fouls.
Yeah, they're playing with that rule. Got an 8-point game right now.
Chris Mills, no. Almost an air ball.
Well, the defensive player stepped out on Chris, and it really knocked him off balance and shooting the jumper there. He's got good range, though. Mills can shoot the ball from deep.
Kemp. He has it blocked. Back to Kemp, and he's going to draw a foul on it. Sean Kemp is 6'10", but very, very quick.
The executive director and his people really work so diligently to make it a first-class week for all these kids.
Owens in the corner at 7 minutes. Feeds it inside. Mourning foul by Ellis. LaFonso's in a no-win situation now. Mourning stabs the ball, and Jackson pumps. No. Rebound. Finally goes to Bell. He lost it for a moment. Now gets it back. And he is hammered. That's got to be a foul, doesn't it?
Oh, there's a lot of contact. Again, should have given the ball up just a little bit earlier, LaFonso. He had an open man on the left wing. He had his head down. One of the rules in handling the basketball is so you can have vision of the court. Now watch this right now. LaFonso's got a wingman. It's a 2-on-1 break. So you're going to see a white shirt popping in. Well, you couldn't see it right there, but he just missed. I'll tell you one thing. Shawn Kemp might be the most talented player. You talk about pure talent. Kemp has just got a world of it.
Well, Ellis finally scored. He was the last man to score.
He'll score a lot when it counts over at the Fighting Irish place. I'll guarantee you that. They signed another good shooter by the name of Keith Atkins from out of Kentucky.
83-79, only a 4-point lead for the East at 6:40. And it's almost stolen by Chris Mills. Mourning having a hard time. Out of the corner, Laettner. No goal. Rebound. Kemp.
Look at that talent. Rebound, handle the rock. Look at him handle it. Look at this kid. Are you serious? Are you for real? That's a superstar potential. Oh, hold me down, Mr. J. Hold me down. Wow. Woo!
Jackson forces a prayer and it's answered.
They're high school kids. They're high school kids. CJ with a deuce after Kemp. Oh, look at Big Shawn.
Partially blocked, taken out, breakaway. They're home free for Mourning.
Power dunk by Mr. Mourning.
And it's a 6-point lead. And a timeout.
What a play by Kemp. I can't believe it. And just a jump shot in life, and that academics also are a vital part of making it. Unfortunately, Keith, for some of the kids, those SAT scores, I've always felt that they're definitely culturally biased. I really wish they didn't utilize them for eligibility.
I wish they didn't utilize them for anybody because it just makes you a number.
Exactly. I think that, you know, based on what a kid achieves in that classroom, I think the core curriculum is excellent that the NCAA has, but I certainly don't like the SATs used for eligibility. I've said time and time again, use them for placement, but not for eligibility. It's unfair.
Inside it goes. Hodge loops it outside to Redan, and Redan. Good touch on the baseline. And suddenly it's an 8-point lead for the East.
That was a nice play. A little zigzag maneuver. Excellent pass to the baseline. And nice touch by Redan. Excellent touch right there in catching that ball and shooting it. They're allowed to go with their best players now. It's up to the coach to play who he wants.
Martin got away with a stroll that time. Gets the ball back. This is Chris Mills. Probably an ill-advised shot there, forced, and Hodge comes out with it.
Well, two bad shots, one by Derek and another one by Chris. When you don't have that normal team offense, you're going to see a lot of that, especially in a half-court game.
Billy Owens handling it now for the East. 4.5 minutes to go and leading by 8, and a whistle and a foul.
Keith, he makes that bounce pass as well as any college player I have seen. This is about the 5th time I have seen him make that good direct bounce pass entry to the post. That's a lost art. A lot of kids can't make that pass into the post. You talked about it earlier when they were trying to throw the ball inside.
I like the looks of this youngster. I think he might turn out to be a heck of a player.
Oh, he's going to be a heck of a player at St. John's. He's got good hands, good touch. He's mobile. He's got good touch right there again. He converts both free throws. Jack Curran, what a coach at Archbishop Malloy.
I like that look on his face, that set jaw. I will do it. Not I can do it, but I will do it. Here's Day taking it in. Off the iron. And there's that good tough rebound by Laettner.
Laettner's a tough kid as well. He's going to be a solid contributor down at Duke. Archbishop Malloy, we talk about Brian Winters, Kevin Joyce, and a host of other great players. Oh, nice dish.
Owens passing, and Laettner's foul.
Can't get over the unselfishness of Billy Owens. I didn't expect that when I started to do these all-star games. He is so unselfish. He could rather give the ball up than shoot the jump shot. Derek Coleman ought to get to know him really well on a Syracuse campus. Take him out for dinner every day because he'll give him the ball.
to go. 91-81 East. West whittled it down. At one point, they had it down to 4 and in control, but the East has come back.
Got Mourning holding Atkins, an excellent guard combination. Trevor Wilson is ecstatic over Jimmy Herrick's selection. Martin goes there and they get McLean. They'd have a heck of a ball club.
Still need a center.
Well, to be really great, but there'll certainly be an improved basketball team. And I think Jimmy Herrick's going to bring a lot of discipline to that program.
Rebound, Mourning.
Need the big rebound, Mr. Mourning right there. Boom.
See, there's a weakness, though, of Roberts. You could spot it right there, Dick. He's late. For some reason, he was waiting, and he was too late to do anything about it. Got one there.
He came right back at Alonzo with a little power move. He's got to work on getting a little quicker. A lot of foot drills. I'm sure Dale's going to have him utilize a lot of big man drills to develop his quickness inside.
That's Crawford Palmer.
Physical, tough, hard-nosed, nothing spectacular. Get in the trenches and get it done.
Palmer foul.
See, the problem with Sean Kemp is that he tries to be too spectacular. He's always looking to make the big play rather than a routine fun.
Palmer rebounds it for the East at 3 minutes to go. 95-84. East leads. Laterrell Green, too long.
He's had a tough time shooting the ball here
today. Look at that Kemp go again, get that ball.
Look at this.
Well,
he tries to handle a little too much.
Indecisive that time, though, as Mourning slams at the other end. He couldn't make up his mind what to do.
Is that a thoroughbred? Is Georgetown going to be good? Are they going to be rocking at the Landover Arena down there at the Capitol Center? Mr. Mourning says, hello, good afternoon. Oh,
Kemp missing.
Always something spectacular. Every time you see him involved.
There's a foul.
And it's a silly foul.
Roberts. Say one thing, though, and I know John Thompson is as well organized as a human being can be when it comes to preparing a basketball team.
Disciplinarian.
Yep. But you can't forget the fact that John Thompson is carrying a heck of a burden. He's the Olympic coach. Now, when are the Olympic Games? They're October, right?
They're in October. And
so he's late.
He's going to be late coming into the arena. But I know that John's organizational skills and his ability, having basically a team that's going to be experienced. See, that's the great thing for Mourning. He steps into a program where they have other good players. It's not like everything is built around Alonzo. But you're right, you make a good point. Certainly the pressure of winning the Olympics, it's not going to be as easy as people believe with the improvement overseas. Yugoslavia getting better and better.
Especially when you got professionals playing in Italy and Spain, and Yugoslavia and Brazil and all those places. I mean, those are paid pros making $250,000.
Oh, yes. Good entry. Down into Mr. Roberts. I disagreed with that other analyst's analogy. Oh, look at the kickback. That we can beat and win the gold medal with the University of Arizona basketball team. I know they really have an outstanding team, and I know they beat the USSR, but really, when you talk about Yugoslavia and all those big Pete not playing together very often is very difficult.
Chris Mills can't get it to drop. Finally, it's taken out of there by Crawford Palmer. And cleared to Redan, ahead to Billy Owens. Blocked from behind, but right into the hands of Bell, and Kemp blocked it. Jump ball. West ball.
Owens trying to give it up again. Caught the ball at the top of the key. Was trying to make that good triangle pass. Take a look at Billy Owens, 34. Look one way. Now he's looking to dump it down. He's trying to dump it down, not shoot the ball. They deflect it from behind. There goes Bell. Makes it up strong, but they get a piece of it.
Well, it's a good thing that Derek Martin is loose and limber, because there's a foul on Martin. At 1:37 to go in the game.
I'll tell you one thing. If I were Dean Smith, I'd call Mr. Lebo in the office. I'd say, Jeff, I'm going to tell you what we have to do with your scholarship, son. We got to call it in. He said, what do you mean, Mr. Smith? You didn't get me. Your dad is the coach of Carlisle, and you didn't get me Mr. Owens. You didn't get him to sign and come here to Chapel Hill. I'll tell you one thing. He wanted to go. I guess his brother played a big important part in the role of making that decision to go to Syracuse. He's got to work on a free throw line as well.
Odd day as the ball slapped out of bounds by Owens. And West will keep it at 1:32 to play in the game. East leading by 10. Martin forces a rainbow. Day puts it up. Goaltending. Count it.
Count that basket. Anytime you have a direct lane to the goal within the 3-second area, and you're taking it directly to the basket like that, 9 out of 10 times they'll call that a goaltending. Take a look right here, directly in the middle of the. See right there. Does he get it on its? It was close, very close.
Day now with 17 points, top scorer in the game. Foul called on Martin, stopping the clock at 1:22.
Remember, you got to get the. Excuse me, Keith, but you got to get that ball on its upward flight, not on its downward motion.
Martin fouling Worden. Gonna make him do some scoring at the foul line.
What about the MVP? Last year, you and I disagreed. We thought it should have went to Brian Shorter. It went to Mark Shakin, Bacon, Macon out in Philadelphia. I'll tell you who I feel today. Again, we have to, I guess, define what an MVP is or an outstanding player. I think the MVP, because it was established early, the lead, was the dominant player. That guy right there, number 34, Mr. Owens, early in the game, controlling tempo, passing, rebounding, and scoring. You're hesitating?
No, I don't disagree with you. My silence is agreeable. He has Owens 10 points and 14 rebounds. But you're right, presence on the floor is a very important factor.
Well, especially when you're looking at most valuable player. We're not talking, we got into that discussion last night also with Morgan Rutan. There's a difference between a most outstanding player and a most valuable.
Look out.
We don't want to see anybody get hurt here.
Well, Roberts came crashing down on Milton Bell, and Bell walks away and will be able to tell his grandchildren about it.
There goes Bell. I was ready to yell, ding dong! I want a ding dong! Oh, he bangs it right here. I was ready for that slam dunk to give out an explosion.
Roberts
ding
is
dong,
gone.
Bell.
Sixth foul. Chris Mills against Milt Bell. Now Martin tries to go back to Mills on the baseline. Worden picks it off. Bell is fouled by Martin.
Bell is an explosive jumper. It's an Armin Gilliam. They didn't play this game. And this year, you look at the lottery, it looks like it'll be Danny Manning, certainly Hersey Hawkins, Rick Smits from out of Marist. You'll talk about Ronnie Cycli. Many of those kids weren't high school All-Americans either. And the point I'm trying to make is it's going to be up to these kids how hard they work and if they really do the same things that they did to get where they are today to go to the next level.
Mills misses, but defense inside keeps it there, and Anderson picks it up and slams it in.
He uses his right hand, his left hand. Good inside player, Eric Anderson. Give up the bounce pass. Yes, there it is. Excellent pass.
Bell makes it 103 to 97. 95. That should be. They got the wrong total there. That's short. Kemp is held by Palmer.
Derek Martin has to work on his perimeter jumps.
Point, but here's a gimme at the other end for Bell.
Ding dong Bell!
Toyota Grand Prix from Long Beach coming up right after our basketball game. There's a lob inside to Kemp. He hammers it home.
Sean Kemp, what a talent.
You don't want to be getting in the way of that one. That's a good way to take a broken hand to the supper table. Your game is over. Final 105-99. The East beats the West. The most valuable players, I heard one of them, Alonzo Mourning.
Alonzo Mourning and Billy Owens, co-MVPs, great choice. Two absolute stars who lived up to their early billing.
And there's your final score before a crowd of 12,815. The McDonald's All-American High School game, ABC Sports exclusive. Brought to you by The Good Time, great taste of McDonald's. And by Embassy Suites Hotels. Coming up next on ABC Sports, top IndyCar drivers running the streets of Long Beach, California. The last tune-up before the Indy 500, the Toyota Grand Prix of Long Beach. We'd like to direct your attention now to center court. Promotional fee paid by McDonald's. And this has been a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television. We hope you enjoyed it from Albuquerque.